Hey there hunters, Lord here, back with another Title Update 1 set video. In today's video, we'll be going over a super awesome inset glaive set that makes sub 12 Zoh Shia extremely easy, even if you get hit a ton like you'll see me do in the background footage. This set has a lot of survivability, some health steal, as well as very high damage. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the video. So firstly, let's go ahead and discuss our weapon. I went for an Artian inset glaive. Yes, it is pronounced Artian. Take a listen to this clip real quick.
To go. Ooh, Artian, you say? Ooh, Artian, you say? I'm up for the challenge.
You're going to want to go for Dragon Element. You could go for something like Paralysis or Poison, but Dragon does the most damage overall to Zoh Shia. As far as relics and reinforcements, it really does not matter. You're going to be plus or minus 5 or so affinity or raw. Doesn't matter. Mine is 3 attack relics, 3 affinity, and 2 sharpness reinforcements. Nothing too special, nothing meta. Again, this is not a meta set. The overall meta sets rely a lot on a lack of quality of life skills, and I wanted to be able to fit in a bunch of things to make this fight easier. And as you saw, I was able to first try with this set get a sub 11.5 minute Zoh Shia, so it's really not too difficult overall to get a good clear time with this set, despite it not being, quote, the optimized meta maximum giga chad damage set. If you've already farmed Zoh Shia a little bit, the Zoh Shia Inset Glaive, the Blazing Katir, is a very good secondary option. However, the Artian has a lot more comfort available in its slot, so I would recommend that overall for the Zoh Shia fight. As far as the armor goes, we're going with the Gore Helm Beta, the Arc Vulcan Mail Beta, the Zhu Wu Vambraces Beta, the Arc Vulcan Coil Beta, the Gore Greaves Beta, the Exploiter Charm 2, and then I'm a big fan of the Mending Mantle for this fight. Free health for as long as it lasts, constant health recovery is extremely nice. You really can't go wrong with whatever mantle you choose. I would advise staying away from Corrupted, but my personal recommendation would be either Mending Mantle or the Rocksteady Mantle for more comfort during the course of your fight. As far as decorations go, in the weapon, we want the Razor Sharp and Handicraft Jewel. You could go for Master's Touch, as this set does have pretty high crit, but we will talk a little bit about the crit skill choice in a little bit, so I would recommend Razor Sharp overall, as especially when Zoh Shia is encased in those white crystals, it's much harder to hit those critical attacks, so you won't get as much forgiveness out of Master's Touch as you will out of Razor Sharp, but again, the choice is completely up to you. I then went for a Critical Jewel 3 to boost our crit damage, as in the later stages of the fight. Once Zoh Shia does release from that white crystal, it's very easy to land crits, so boosting the damage in that stage of the fight is very important. And then for the final one, any flight/combination decoration is fine. I went for Flight Attack because I have a bunch of those, so I went ahead and threw it in. However, Airborne is going to be very nice. You're going to want to use the Inset Glaive Vault to avoid a lot of those fire on the ground attacks and deal some extra damage, so plus 10% damage to those attacks, and our Rising Spiral Slash is going to be a solid damage boost. In the head, the Throttle Jewel was my choice to get a little bit of extra crit and stamina management after taking enough damage or being in the quest for 2 minutes. Since this is nearly a 12-minute fight with this set, you're going to have a decent amount of uptime from latent power. You're of course welcome to put whatever you want in the 3-in-1 slot here. I went Shockproof just so I could run this in multiplayer. In the chest, you'll want 2 Mighty Jewels, and in the arms, you'll want a Mighty, Earplug, and Sane Jewel. However, if you want some more comfort skills, you can drop Maximum Might. Again, crit is not a huge deal when we're going for comfort. However, this set does get very high crit since my Artian weapon has 20% innate. So if you're a little bit better at the game and don't need as many comfort skills, otherwise, you could go for more damage by rocking Counter Strike. You could go for Destroyer to break those crystals up a little quicker. You could go for Evasion or Evade Distance for a little more comfort. You could go for Maintenance to get your Mending or Rocksteady mantles back faster. The choice is really completely up to you on these 3 decoration slots. In the waist, you'll want the second Sane Jewel and a Fire Resistance Jewel, and in the legs, you'll want a Chain Jewel 3 and the final 2 Fire Resistance Jewels. As you can see on the right here, this takes our fire resistance over 20, meaning that we cannot be fire blighted by Zoh Shia's fire attacks. meaning that if you get hit by a fire attack, you don't need to do a nullberry or roll around while your health constantly drains due to fire blight, because, like I said, you cannot be fire blighted when you are over 20 resistance for fire. Since we've already discussed the weapon skills, let's go ahead and talk about our armor skills. We have Weakness Exploit at level 5 for 30% additional affinity when we are attacking weak spots. Maximum Might at level 3, again, can be swapped out for something else, but is plus 30% crit when our stamina is full. So if you're doing your high damage ground attacks, your stamina should be full anyway, so we like the extra crit here. Fire Resistance level 3, we already touched on. Antivirus at level 3 allows us to clear the frenzy faster, so we can get that 25% extra affinity much more often during the fight. Earplugs at level 2 is all you need, because once you have your white extract, that will become 3 levels of earplugs, so you'll be able to nullify all roars, although I do believe Zoh Shia has a couple of roars that will still break through even 3 levels of earplugs, but you will recover from it very quickly, allowing you to do some extra damage. Again, latent power, when you take enough damage or are in the quest for 2 minutes, will then give you 2 minutes of 10% additional crit and some stamina reduction. Just a very nice skill, but again, can be swapped out. Burst at level 1 allows us to have basically infinite uptime on plus 8 raw attack after attacking the monster 5 times. Again, I know that this fight is a little more difficult than most of the fights currently in the game. However, being aggressive will allow you to get these clear times down as fast as possible. Hiding in a corner and not attacking the monster is going to do you absolutely no favors, especially if you are going for solo clear times. We also get a single level 2 evade window, recovery speed, coalescence, flinch free, and then I threw in shock absorber because I'm liking multiplayer at the moment. However, this is a build set up for solo, so you could go for any other jewel in that head slot. Once again, shock absorber, not necessary at all. I've just been playing some multiplayer, and so I have it in there. Evade window, very nice to have a little bit extra there. And of course, you could drop those mighty jewels to jump this up quite a bit to allow you to dodge through more attacks. Recovery speed's great for getting our red health back. Coalescence, once we clear the frenzy, will give us a little bit extra dragon damage. And flinch free comes free on the legs, but will allow you to be flinched a little bit less by some of those attacks, so you can recover faster and get back to smacking up the monster. As for set bonuses, the 2 pieces of Gore Magala give us Black Eclipse 1, so when we get in the fight, we'll be inflicted with the Frenzy. Continually attacking the monster and coupled with Antivirus at level 3 allows us to clear the Frenzy very fast. Once we clear it, we have plus 25% affinity. We then have Arkveld's Hunger for Hasten Recovery 1 with 2 pieces of the Arc Vulcan armor, and as you continually attack the monster, you'll get tiny amounts of health back. It's not a ton, but it is super nice, because you can just stay aggressive and get health back over time. Of course, the 2-piece Zoh Shia set bonus would be great here, but since this set is built for farming Zoh Shia, I did not want to use these Zoh Shia armor parts, just in case you guys are having a difficult time getting clears, getting parts, and you haven't been able to craft the armor yet. If you are using this build solo, you're already going to have a bunch of healing from your cat. You're going to be able to heal yourself with green extracts from your Kinsect, as well as hasten recovery. So it allows you to remain aggressive and continue to attack the monster. If you've seen the background footage so far, I've been getting hit quite a bit. Again, this was my first time using the set. I was still able to clear it in under 12 minutes very easily, and I only had to use 1 max potion, no mega potions, no regular potions, no life dust, just purely attacking the monster, relying on my cat, and using the green extract from the Kinsect. I really cannot reiterate enough how important it is that you remain aggressive. Quests will take just significantly longer if you are passive and not attacking the monster. Many of Zoh Shia's attacks can simply be vaulted over. Sure, you'll lose out on a little bit of max might, but with our flight deco, our aerial attacks will be dealing plus 10% damage. So you can use that as a way to avoid those attacks where fire is on the ground and still deal very good damage. The more time you spend dealing damage, the less time the quest will take. It is really that simple. And so hopefully this set is able to allow you guys to do that. Now, I know the title of this video is how to easily solo Zoh Shia, but again, this set will also work great in multiplayer. You'll be able to get lots of mounts to bring them down and give your teammates openings to hit Zoh Shia very easily. We have room to fit in shockproof should you need it, and I know that SOSs with random players can be a little frustrating, so that's why the idea overall for this set is to run it solo, allowing you to get very quick clear times. So now that we have discussed the set and general playstyle, let's go over some quick tips and tricks for the Zoh Shia fight. One thing I would highly recommend is eating for Defender using the Kunafa cheese when you are cooking for yourself, or just grab the Kunafa meal in the Grand Hub. However, if you feel like you don't need that, the Azuz meal offers the Carver skill, so if you manage to cut off the tail, you will get a ton of extra carves by using that food skill. Be sure to use the rock drops in the arena. There are 2 of them. They deal a ton of damage and knock Zoh Shia down, giving you a free window to attack without having to worry about getting hit. Again, like I said, use the aerial attacks to avoid those fires on the ground. Be sure to pick up the Dragon and Thunder Slinger ammo from around the arena. You can shoot these at those white crystals to avoid Zoh Shia's ult. And when those smaller crystals are around Zoh Shia, by popping them with these, they will explode each other and deal a bunch of extra damage to Zoh Shia. If you're getting hit a bunch, I would recommend popping the Mending Mantle before using potions. This way you can ensure that you will have potions later on should you need them. And then finally, I highly recommend the Arc Maiden Kinsect with this set. It allows you to gather your triple buff very easily, and it deals stun damage. I was able to get a KO on this hunt without really focusing on aiming my Kinsect at Zoh Shia's head. The Arc Maiden also comes with the fast charge ability, so you can use your Kinsect to pierce through Zoh Shia more often to get both your triple buff and those green extracts to allow for extra healing without needing to stop dealing damage to Zoh Shia. So that's going to do it for this one, guys. If you did find this helpful, definitely drop a like down below to support the video for free and to let YouTube know to recommend this to other hunters. If you're new to my channel, new to Monster Hunter, or if you liked this video and want to see more just like it, then do be sure to subscribe to the channel. It's totally free, supports the channel, and you're always welcome to change your mind later if you're finding the content just isn't for you. With all that being said, I want to thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Good luck out there, and happy hunting.